And a reminder to everyone that we will enable closed captioning for today's presentation. So if you'd like to see a live translation, you can turn that on and off with the buttons at the bottom of the Zoom panel. Here we go. So what is COBRA? COBRA is an international network of networks. It's funded by the National Science Foundation in the United States, and it has a mission to accelerate research of the deep sea crustal ocean biosphere to inform decision-making, while also training the next generation of scientists and policymakers. This is we're entering into our third year soon. We like to start with this kind of cartoon to remind us of what the kinds of things that COBRA focuses on. It's really those seafloor environments where you have rocks exposed. Those are places with lots of animal biodiversity, microbial biodiversity, and ecosystem services. And increasingly, these deep sea environments are poised for interaction with human impacts, whether that be deep sea mining, subsea floor carbon sequestration, fisheries pressure moving into the deep sea. And so that is really the focus of our network of networks, is to bring scientists together, policymakers, other stakeholders to think about these ecosystems and how we make informed decisions about their use. And so some of the things that COBRA does, we try to coordinate different activities so that we can try to accelerate collaboration and fill important knowledge gaps related to informed decision making. We try to work together to translate scientific findings to be accessible to policymakers and industry and the public. And a big focus of our work is on educating the next generation so that we can have equitable use and priorities for the deep sea, especially in these rocky environments, so that we have evidence-based policy decisions. If you'd like to learn more, again, come to our website. We'd love to tell you more about it. One of the things that we do then to accelerate that translation of knowledge is have these webinars. We also try to do training events for early career people. And so we have these virtual webinars very frequently. And since it's a virtual format, we want to remind everybody of a code of conduct of how we interact with each other, which essentially boils down to treat everybody with dignity and respect, and to communicate with civility. Please do not make threats of any form or harass any of the participants, or any kind of behavior that might have the effect of creating an environment that's hostile to anybody or a group of people. Please do not take videos or photos without prior consent, although we are recording today's presentation and we'll be putting it on COBRA's YouTube channel. If you notice any bad behavior or have any concerns, please feel free to reach out to the webinar organizers, myself, or Rosalind Sylvan. You can send an email to cobra@bigelow.org, and you can see our full code of conduct online. So today's event is to introduce ocean governance to stakeholders who might want to get involved in this, but don't really quite understand what that landscape looks like. So really about giving us insights into those policy processes and some tips, especially for early career people that want to get involved. You can see some of our speakers, as well as the co-sponsors of this event. Thank you to everybody that's going to be involved in the next 2 days. I am so excited about what we're going to learn together, and I'm so thankful to Ben for agreeing to help organize this with us. Before I turn it over to Ben, I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow, as part of tomorrow's activities, we'll have breakout groups to discuss some of these topics together. And we're going to send out a poll in just a few moments asking you which of these topics you're most interested in joining a breakout group on. So Rosalind will queue up that poll in just a moment. Please let us know your interest, and then we'll get you assigned to those groups for tomorrow. And with that, I'm going to leave you with this acronym soup and turn it over to Ben to tell us what we're going to be learning about today. All right, Ben, you are up.
Thank you, Beth. Hello, everybody. I'm going to try to share my screen. Let's hope it works. How's that looking? All
That
right.
looks great, Ben. Yes.
Fantastic. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. First and foremost, my name is Ben Boteler. I am a senior research associate at the Research Institute for Sustainability in Helmholtz, at the Helmholtz Center Potsdam. And I'm also a senior fellow at TMG, Think Tank for Sustainability in Berlin. And first, thank you so much to Beth and Rosalind and the entire COBRA team for allowing us this platform to present and engage with you over the next 2 days. We've been working on this for a number of weeks now. We're really excited to have the chance to engage with you all over the next 2 days. So just to provide you a little overview of the objectives of what we want to cover and what we want to talk about. The idea really is to provide a general introduction to ocean governance and give you with a little bit of an insight in some of the key policy processes that are currently underway, and they're of course constantly changing. So we're really going to focus primarily on fisheries, deep sea mining, and biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction, but we will touch on some of those other policy processes like the Ocean Climate Network and the Convention on Biological Diversity. But if you're already an expert in any of these, we probably won't go into the depth that you might be looking for. So we're really just going to provide you with a snapshot of what's going on. In addition, this event, we really want to engage with you in terms of how you can consider scientific outreach and opportunities for engaging in these policy processes and what that might mean, especially for an early career professional. And in addition, the aim is to provide a space for participants to exchange in the small groups. So we have an exciting interactive session planned for tomorrow, and that's what the poll is currently trying to determine which specific topics you'd like to join. We have a number of speakers planned that you're going to hear from today and tomorrow. First and foremost is Professor David Johnson from Seascape Consultants and the Global Ocean Biodiversity Initiative. David is unfortunately not going to join us in person due to an emergency that he needed to address. However, he was very generous and was able to provide us with a video introduction that we will hear next. However, we were able to ensure that my close friend and colleague, Dr. Barbara Neumann, will be joining us. So she's going to provide us with some critical reflection on David's introduction. So she was very kind in jumping in here at the last minute. We're also going to hear from Matt Gianni on fisheries here later this afternoon from the Deep Sea Conservation Coalition. As well as Dr. Vicky Gunn from Seascape Consultants and the Global Ocean Biodiversity Initiative, who's going to tell us a little bit more about her work on engaging with stakeholders within some of these policy processes. And then in addition, Dr. Myla Guion, a colleague of mine from RIFS, and Ocean Voices, who's going to talk a little bit about what it means to be an early career professional working in this broad field of ocean governance and share some of the insights that she's been learning over the last years. Tomorrow, we're going to hear from my colleague Pradeep Singh on deep sea mining. He's been actively engaged in this policy process for a number of years. And he's going to tell us a little bit more about some of the ongoing discussions at the International Seabed Authority. And then finally, I will provide a discussion and a presentation on the recently agreed upon global treaty for biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction, which will then take us into the interactive session that we have planned for tomorrow. Just as a reminder, the interactive session is really to provide you with an opportunity to think about your work and your role trying to engage with these policy processes. So we sent around the background note this provides you with the key questions that we'd like to discuss with you tomorrow, but we'd really like to hear what you have to say and get you to think about some of these questions. So I'm not going to read them out here. You should have all received them via email. But it could be really valuable for you to consider these questions over the course of the presentations today, and also maybe reflect on them going into the interactive session tomorrow. And with that, I'll hand it over to, we're going to hear now a video from Professor David Johnson before hearing some reflections from Barbara. I wish you all a very successful and I wish you all a very interesting workshop. We're really, like I said, we're really happy to have you here. Please feel free to ask questions and write your questions in the chat. We are really here to engage with you. So thank you.